What is a tradie's wife's life like? That's a tongue twister.
Say it 5 times fast.
No.
Tradie's wife like what?
We've got, I'm Marina, I'm here with Mitch, and we have a special guest.
Yes.
Casey.
Drum roll.
Hi. Wow. There it is. It's me. Hi, Casey.
Casey, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Casey, and I am a tradie's wife. And yeah, that's
Nice.
me.
Who is the tradie?
Okay, so my husband is Brandon Lewis, and he is an electrician. So yeah,
Yeah, he has been on the podcast before.
he has. Yeah,
I think he likes podcast a little bit too much, if I'm going to be honest.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, Brendan, if you're listening, which like all good husbands
Sure
should,
he will. Yeah.
man, we love having you on. Love having you on.
Absolutely.
I reached out to, we were having a conversation, me and Brendan, during the week, and I just thought it would be such an interesting perspective for the majority of our listeners are tradies. And so the majority of our listeners are not going to be the wives, but it would be great for our listeners, the tradies, to actually hear what it might be like for the other side of the equation.
Yeah.
Because often we can sit here and be like, oh, it's fine, she's all right, or our partner's going great, or whatever it might be. And look, I really do hope that some partners of tradies, want to jump on and listen.
Yeah.
But I think it could be more beneficial to actually help educate what you might be going through.
Yeah.
And what your partner might be going through during this time of you really trying to push and grow your business.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it definitely has come with its challenges.
Let's start there.
Sure.
Let's talk about
straight into the
challenges.
deep end.
Straight into the deep end. We don't scratch the surface here. We like to get deep down and raw as fast as we can.
Yeah. Well, for me, like with our situation, I'm at home with the kids and I'm raising the kids, and when there's days where I'm just needing my husband and I'm just counting down the clock for him, he can sometimes come home within the hardship of that time and still to be clocked on and still needing to be on the phone or still needing to do the paperwork for the end of the month or things like that. And I just have to be like, okay, I've got the rest of bedtime or I've got the rest of the day and I've just got to suck it up and do it. But that is something that Brendan and I have spoken about throughout the time of first starting the business, and we thought we just need to focus on the communication. And at that point we talked about, I'm getting all flustered here now.
It's all right. I like to just, get yourself all comfy,
get comfortable.
do what you got to do. Strap on in.
Yeah, well, before we started the business, we knew that we had a stage of what growth we wanted, the plans and things like that. And we talked about, for us to be here, there has to be a time period where it's going to be hard and we're not going to be having a lot of one-on-one time. And as much as we'll plan for it, we just can't put expectations on it at the start or in the midst of the hardship of it all. And so he might come home and I can sense that he might have 10% left in his system. And I've got, I'm like, okay, I've got to take the rest of this for the rest of the day. Or within that period, it was hard, but we just communicated and we would do little things like I might leave him a note in his laptop bag or something to sing, I'm thinking of you, have the best day. Or I might have a wrecked afternoon and I'll be absolutely exhausted from the kids and he can sense that and be like, let's just get takeout tonight and just focus on
KFC?
us. Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
It's around the corner, so it was
Chicken
fine.
bucket?
Yeah.
Zinger box?
Zinger box.
Nah, straight up chicken bucket. I know that, man.
But yeah, we just kind of sense how we're feeling and then we just go on from there and just take it. Like we just don't put the pressures on ourselves because we know this is just going to be a short time span of the business and we think later in the future it's going to be not going to be what it is now. So kind of just push through it. Yeah.
I'll be honest, if my hat could come off, I would take my hat off to you.
No, thank you.
I obviously sit on the other side with the clients that we have and my role is to essentially push them as hard as we can push them to achieve the things that they want. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of resistance that can come from the other side of the coin, which can be the partners.
Yeah.
And to hear that you two have had a conversation, you've sat down, you've established that this is a chapter in life.
Yeah.
It's a season. It's going to pass.
That's right, yeah.
But if we can it's like, imagine being in winter and you resist it. You know those people that like hate winter?
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't make it any easier to hate it.
No.
Like stop trying to fight
still
it.
gotta
Just go
push
with the
through
flow
it.
for what it is and summer will come.
Yeah.
And so I feel like you've done that. You've sat down and you've gone, all right, hey, this is going to be a hard time where this is going to be my role in that predominantly, and this is going to be your role.
And that's
in that.
exactly how it felt.
Yep.
Exactly like
And
that.
now we have to show up as those people to get us to the other side, to get us to summer or whatever it is that you
Yes,
enjoy.
whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And that was us.
Yep. Now, would it be fair to say that some days it's like, fuck, I can't do this anymore? Like, does that come up?
There was definitely times where I would build resentment in a way where I was like, okay, is this really worth it at the end of the day? Because it's starting to affect time with our kids, and my kids would be like, when's daddy coming home, or when can daddy do this? I'm like, he will. Yeah, absolutely, darling. He'll read you a book tonight. And that's just what's going to happen. But tomorrow we're going to do this, and we make a plan for something else to work through that time. Yeah.
Yep. And that must be like hard. Like as I said, I've been that dad.
Yeah.
I'm that dad now.
Yeah.
You know, I was just talking to, we had a photography in, and I was talking about, you know, in the morning, you know, we wake up at 6 and I do the 6 to 7 shift.
Yeah.
And that's how I have to look at it, because that's the only hour I get with my son most days.
Yeah.
Right now. And then in the afternoon, I get home at 6:30 and he goes to bed at 7.
Yeah.
And so that's like an hour and a half I get to spend with
him. Yeah.
That's my contribution to him each day on face value.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I've had to learn to tell myself, hang on a sec, no, that's not. My contribution is also that I'm here all day, every day.
Exactly.
Doing what I can do to be able to make it so that in the instance of me and my wife can be there the whole day with him. He doesn't have to go to daycare so she can go to work.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's like I'm trying to build for something.
Yeah.
But I feel like so many people don't understand that there is a point.
Yeah, yes, yeah. I think that's the greatest gift that, you know, coming up to Christmas time, people will be asking me, you know, what's Brandon going to get you and all things like that. But the greatest gift he's ever given me is time with my kids. And I will look back one day and think these are the good old days. And there's so many people with their choice, like, are out there working and, you know, getting that short time as well with their kids. But for me, I'm with my kids all the time. And I can only do that because Brandon has chosen to do this for our family. And it's something I'll always be grateful for. It's incredible.
I've worked with Brandon a lot.
Yeah.
And I love that he's all about giving back.
Absolutely.
And
he's so gracious.
I know that everything he does is for his family, for his community.
Yeah.
And that's really big. And I know he couldn't do that without you.
Yeah.
And I love that you started this journey together. Like there was a plan that was like, okay, are we going to do this? Have a talk about it.
Yeah.
Come up with a plan, and then remembering, like, coming back to that all the time.
Yeah. Coming in as a team, just remembering that at the end of the day. Yeah.
How did you do the plan? Me and Sarah, my wife, we have our way of how we built the plan, and we revise it and so on. But like, was there certain questions that you asked each other? Did you sit down with a pen and paper? Was it a conversation one night in bed? Like how did the plan be formulated?
Well, prior to this, Brandon had our own previous business, and in that was hard for us. So we kind of learned through the obstacles of that. And so before we started Electrical Genesis Industries, it just keeps growing now, which is incredible. We sat down with the little times that we have, it would normally be in bed at night while we've just put the kids down, and that would be our time. And we just chatted about, you know, this is what happened previously. How can we work better towards it now? And at the start, it was great. And when we just kept growing, it's okay to have that idea of how we're going to get through it. But when you're in the midst of it all, felt a little bit different. But we knew that there was a plan to it, and it wasn't going to be like that forever. And that had helped us compared to the last time. Just keeping an open mind that it's not going to feel like this forever. And, you know, we're just going to take every day as it comes and keep going.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really love that for you. Your cup is full when you get to spend that much time with your kids. And I think there's a lot of families and parents out there that wish they could do that more.
Yeah.
And I really love that. Like, there's Brandon's dream, but it makes it possible for you to also fill your own cup.
Oh, it is. This is my dream, being able to do this.
Yeah. And I think that's really important for couples where one partner is a business owner, that it's not just about your dream. Like, we're a team. And we both have our cups filled, and we work with each other. Like, what you're doing helps him, and what he's doing helps you.
Yeah.
So some couples that I work with, both, like, partners are in the business.
Yeah.
Like someone's in the office doing the admin, doing the office operations, like handling staff leave, pace, and
then they
like
come
that.
home and then they're still doing it together. I don't know how they do it. I have full respect for people that do that. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. So I think that's nice that you can actually come back and share some of your days. Like, hey, like this is what I experienced today in the business, but this is what I experienced today with the kids. And share that. And it's always like new conversations that you can
It is.
have,
It is.
which is nice.
For me, I don't get that adult time really. I'm always with my kids drawing and Play-Dohing and park timing it. So it's nice to get that adult conversation from him and just figure out how his day has been and talk through that together and really communicate. But for him, he's getting to get all the pictures that I send him throughout the day of what we've done with the kids, and he'll reply and send a little video or something about the kids, and the kids will love that. So we get little bits of each other throughout that, and it's really important we do that. And we did chat about that prior as well, why that's so important. So we still feel that connection. Otherwise, it comes to 8 o'clock at night when we get to see each other really without any distractions, and then we're both just exhausted. So that's why we do little things like that. And we love it.
Nice. Yeah. What are some tips that you would give to other tradies' wives out there? Yeah. Or tradies. Like, hey, your partner's at home. Yeah. Maybe they would appreciate X, Y, and Z. What's like a thing that you're like, I think
little texts go the long way, little messages of thinking of you or thought of you because of this. And I know it's very hard because it's go, go, go constantly, but
it's not.
It's not?
It's not. And look, I talk about this with my clients. It's like, you actually need to sometimes create the prompts to do it. Yeah. So, if you're someone that finds that hard, hey, set a reminder in your calendar to once a week and just sporadically put it, send a loving message. Yeah. Trust me, your partner's not going to go, oh my God, it's at 9:30 every Monday.
No.
They're not going to care.
Exactly. No, it goes a long way. The smallest little things like that, notes, messages, or if you happen to have half an hour free, hey, do you want to come get a coffee or quickly come grab me lunch so we just see each other in that halfway point, or absolutely things like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I also like the notes. Yeah. We do that. I hide Post-it notes.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll tell each other, hey, I hid a Post-it note around the house, try and find it today. I've done that before once, and I didn't actually hide one. I spent the whole day
just searching.
The whole day searching for a Post-it note, and then I got home and she said I couldn't find it. And then I was like, oh, I'll go get it. And I went to where I thought I put it, and I was like, fuck, I didn't even take it off. I didn't take it off the note. I wrote it, but then I didn't take it off, and so it was still in my laptop case. I was like, yeah, babe, here it is. It was here. She's
the whole time.
Yeah. She's like, I looked there. I was like, you did. You mustn't have looked there, babe.
Yeah. It really, for us, it's just intentional. And for us to have that downtime, it's just after putting the kids to bed and then chucking on some TV and having a good feed together and just being in our own space. That's making sure you're being intentional with each other and not just trying to be in your own space from talking to people all day, every day. Just remembering that it's okay to have your space and then it's time for each other as well. It's very important.
I think it's also really beautiful that you feel safe enough to say, hey, my dream is to be with the kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that there's so much pressure in society at this point in time for that not to be okay.
Yeah.
And there's so many people out there that may want that.
Yeah.
But they don't feel like, oh, I have to go. So I think it's really nice that you two have got the ability to be open and honest with each other. And then also for you to sit here and be open with everyone else and say, this is what I want and this is what I stand for and this is what we are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I knew from the day dot, Brandon and I have been together for years, and I can see just the people in his life have such successful careers or just really great role models. And I knew from just how he was working and grinding through, he wanted that for himself. And for me, I just wanted to have a loving family, just be able to have that and create memories and bond through that. And we just came together and it worked perfectly in our favor. So it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so beautiful to see. I just think, the biggest thing is to support each other.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I actually think not as many people are as lucky as you two, where you have a wish or something that makes you happy yourself and it works so well. I sometimes feel like a tradie wife feels like she has to put her own like
to
plans
the side.
on hold to the side to help her
achieve
husband, to achieve his goal. And I think the communication is super important to come to an agreement where like how can we fill both our cups. And I think you're incredibly lucky that you had that from the beginning, but also have the open communication to get to a point like how can we make this work. And that's for me is something that when I deal with a lot of our clients, it's like you have to communicate with each other and put a time frame around this. Like how long are you willing to do something if it's not your dream? How long are you willing to support your husband's dream? And then what's the point in time? Like, where do we have to get the business to then have me live my dream as the tradie's wife?
Exactly. And with there came to a point where it was a little bit like that in the middle. And that was when I think we were right at the start of the growth of it all. And we just, I think I had a little moment with the kids as well. It was very hard. And we just got to the end of the night. I'm like, babe, I really need you to step up because I'm feeling like I'm ripping my hair out and needing you to pick up some of the slack that I've got at home just because I'm going cabin fever. I need some me time. I need some time for myself to create what I want to do with the rest of my life, not just be a mum. And he was like, yep, okay, so this is where we're at with the business and this is what, and we talked about what I wanted to do and then with a certain time frame with the kids as well. And it did work out that way. It's just a matter of really communicating and putting that expectation on the time frame, like you said, exactly. And once you get to that time frame, then talking about it from then onwards as well, okay, this is how we work on it from there. And it's very important. Otherwise, you build resentment and things just build up for no reason and you just doesn't work. So communication is definitely key.
Have you got friends that are in the same boat? Where you talk about like, I totally understand because like I'm in the same situation.
Yeah. Oh no. For me, my friends, I've got a lot of people around me who have had young kids around at the same point of what we did as well. So that has helped. Having my own community, I keep knocking this, having my own community to help me with the pressures of that day-to-day life has been a big impact. If I didn't have that, I think it would be a whole different story. I think when you build a village at home, it's very much true, but it's also the same with the workplace. And I'm aware of all of that stuff that goes on with work and things like that. But if I didn't have my own little village with my friends and family as well, it'd be a very different story. So it's important to surround yourself with people so you have that communication and you have that help. And if you didn't have that, very different.
Emily, one of our coaches here, she actually has built a beautiful connection and recorded a podcast with Tradie's Wives before, which is a big Facebook group in a community. And I just want to tell every other tradie wife out there that if they don't have that village and they're not that fortunate to have that community and support around them, reach out to them because there's a lot of women out there that actually are in the same boat and they can support each other. And I think it's super important to like have friends, have someone who can understand you and know that they're not alone. And this is why it's amazing to have you here because it's just like,
that little thing. Absolutely. If you don't have people around you, definitely find the resources that you can because it can be detrimental, but it can also be really rewarding when you do. So absolutely find that. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I like it.
Same.
I feel like we'll land the plane.
Yeah.
Should we land it there?
Sounds good.
It's just, awesome. I think, you two are such a beautiful couple.
I know sometimes I want to be a part of it. In the most uncreepy way.
Just going to skid on over here a little bit. No, it took time.
Mitch just bit his tongue. Like, I'm not going to say anything else.
Red flag.
Casey, thank you so much for coming and joining us. I think it's going to be great for a lot of our listeners. Tradies, look after your wives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Communicate. Make sure that both your cups are filled. And, I think that's really important. Work as a team.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks for having me.
No. Till next time, say hi to your partners.
Bye.